Good morning, everyone. Welcome to a Sunday sermon. This morning, we're going to have a message from the Archangel Camael. She's not one of the most known archangels, but she's very, very important. She's known as a peacemaker. She's known as an angel that will help you put personal relationships back together. So I thought she'd be very appropriate for Memorial Day with all the wars and hatred that's going on in the world today. If there's ever an archangel got her hands full, it's Camiel. So we'll let her see what she has to say. So, Camiel, thank you for coming. Good morning, everyone. Yes, the world has many, many problems. There's no doubt about it. But if you look at history, you'll see that through the ages, not much has really changed. I've been very busy ever since humans first God decided humans wanted to walk the earth. I worked with them. I tried to make them understand that a peaceful life is the way that you'll find the most happiness. But it always seems like humans want to steal what somebody else has, and that person certainly doesn't want to be stolen from. That they might want the property that individual has, so they will try to take it any way they can get it. God gave humans free will. And when he did that, he certainly knew that my work would be cut out for me in the future. I've tried my best, and every once in a while, it works for me. You'll notice that wars usually end one way or another. So maybe some of what the work that I do paid off in ending some of the wars through time. But there are individuals that are just evil. They didn't get it in heaven, but once they came back, they found out that sometimes it's easier to steal or take from others than it is to earn it. Well, when they returned to heaven, they found out that just how stupid that decision was. But while they're living their life, they're creating a lot of havoc for others. They're creating a lot of hatreds, a lot of pain, a lot of suffering. It would be really nice if evil energies don't exist, but they're going to. They're always going to exist because how you handle evil energy is a test. God wants all of you to pass your test. So it's very simple. You just follow his words and then evil will go away. It's the individuals that don't follow his words that create the problems. And sadly, many people are drawing away from believing in God. God has blessed you with technological advances. You have the internet. That's how you're hearing me today. So the internet can be a great thing. It can bring you good messages. If you take time to listen to the messages that Barry brings, he only brings you good things. He only brings you the words of the holiest of spirits and Jesus himself. What could be a greater miracle than that you can sit down and listen to the words of our Lord? During his lifetime, he talked to many people, but it was always a local event. There was no mass media. He really couldn't reach that many individuals. But the ones he reached, they were really, really good people. The individuals that he reached passed on his words, and they made sure that future generations would be aware of them. They changed the world. Billions of people have listened to the words of Jesus and have believed and lived good lives. God also created the other religions. He sent back Muhammad, Buddha. He did many things, many of the Hindu leaders. If you take time to think about it, you're going to find out that all of the religious leaders through time really were individuals that God sent back. You see, God doesn't want He doesn't want you feeling this individual pain, being harmed, not being able to coexist. On other planets, I've done my thing. I've helped bring about peace, and I've helped bring about personal relationships. There's other planets where people live in peace, where they never fight among themselves, where they really don't need weapons, where they're very happy. They live these great lives. They're very, very advanced. And because they've learned to live these good lives, that's why they're highly advanced. Coexistence is one of the most important words you'll ever hear as a human. You must learn to coexist. When you learn to coexist, you learn to get along with others. And you have removed hatred from your heart, from your mind. Many people today, when they look at individuals that have different skin colors, that speak different languages, that have different beliefs, there are many people that hold animosities towards those individuals. There are many, many people who hate the Jewish religion, for instance. For years, individuals have hated the Jews. You saw what happened during World War II when Hitler tried to exterminate them in Europe. He was a terrible, terrible individual. He is the best example of evil that you will ever see. And when he returned, he was immediately ushered to the lowest level, and he's going to be there for quite a while. There's no rush in heaven. There's no time, so he can be there for thousands and thousands of years. You don't want anything like that for yourself. You want to be in the upper levels where people are enjoying themselves, where they're able to talk with any human that is in level below them. There's nothing but love in heaven. Now, there are people that maintain dislikes that they built during their lifetime, but they don't generally show them. For instance, President Kennedy. He knows who was in charge of the assassination and who had him killed. So he just simply avoids that soul in heaven. But it's not a problem because that soul is in a level much lower than he is. But he could go down and talk to them if he wanted to. But he prefers not to do it. He prefers to live the good life, to live as the souls in the upper levels do, because that's where he is. Many of the souls that have had a good impact upon the world are in the upper levels. God doesn't send people back from the lower levels to serve him. He knows what he has in the souls that are around him. He knows he can trust them. He knows when he sends them back that they're going to do basically what the life plan says, and they're going to do their best to follow God's commands. When they go back, they're going to understand that a human is best served when you don't do anything that you don't want done to yourself. Now, how simple can that be? Do you want another individual to steal from you? No. Common sense is a great key to happiness as a human. Now, what do I try to do? I will try to come to leaders of countries in their dreams, and I will give them suggestions of peace. I will suggest to them that perhaps they shouldn't be doing what they're doing. I will even tell them. Sometimes they'll have a dream where they'll find themselves in heaven, and they'll have a guide telling them that they've done terrible things and that they're going to pay for it. I do all of the things I can to convince people. But if there's true evil in a person's heart, they're really hard to convince. Throughout time, there obviously have been many that I can't convince, but there are many that I can help. For instance, all of you today that are listening, you're essentially very good people. Everyone makes mistakes. Everyone has in the past, and everyone probably will in the future. There are many things that you can do to serve God, and those of you that are watching understand a lot of it. Many of you try to pass on the words that you hear, and then you run into problems because there are many people that look down upon you for speaking of God. But just think of this. When Jesus walked the earth, many people looked down upon him, and he was God. Many people spat upon him. Many people threw stones at him. They swore at him because he was speaking something that was different. Whenever you try to speak something different, you're probably going to be scorned. Whenever you try to speak of God, there are going to be many that are not going to want to hear what you have to say. Many people know they should be doing much better, but they choose not to. Choice, free will. You can do whatever you want, but I would certainly hope that you listen to the messages and you try to pass on the words and you try to live a good life. There's nothing better than trying to live a good life and helping others. When you do it, you'll know the threshold of love. You'll know the threshold of happiness. There's nothing better than having a person come to you and have them say that you changed their lives for the better. Many people have great wealth today and don't use it to help others. That is why poverty will exist into the future, because they build the bad karma. And when they come back, they have to live lives of poverty so they understand what they did wrong in the life where they had the wealth. Humans can be very difficult to convince. I can tell you that. I can guarantee that for you. Free will meets evil, and the humans use the free will to follow the evil ideas, the evil trends, to hurt others, to not coexist, to do all the things that you've heard us speak of so many times. Why do you think it is that humans just simply can't follow the words of advice that will bring them happiness? Greed's part of it. Wanting to have what others have, and wanting to take it, not wanting to work. Laziness is the problem. If you're lazy and don't want to work and hold a job and try to be good in your work and do the best you can do, well, that's going to harm you. You're not going to succeed, and when you don't succeed, you're unhappy, and when you're unhappy, you may want to turn to crime. You may want to steal what others who have worked so hard for what they have. You may try to take what they have then. Common sense really will lead you to making all the right decisions that you need to make. Why would you hate somebody just because their skin color is different from yours? That doesn't make sense. If an individual goes out into the sun, works every day in the sun, their skin's going to turn very dark. May have started white like yours, but it might wind up very dark. Does that mean you're going to hate them because they worked in the sunshine and now their skin is very dark? You can find many reasons to hate, but you can also find many reasons to love. The reasons for love are actually more obvious than the ones for hatred. Loving will help you get along, help you be happy. Hatred will only tear you apart. It'll lead you to a depression. It'll do all of the things that will harm you. But I'm not sure I know many people that have been harmed by love. Yes, if they love another woman and she goes out with other individuals, ruins a relationship. Love in that case can indeed lead to very, very unhappiness and harm for the individual that was showing the love. But if you don't show love, you're not going to have much opportunity to have anyone show it back. You need to live the good life Jesus spoke of. You need to live the good life that Jesus lived. He showed love to everyone. He never showed hatred. He showed anger that day in the temple when he destroyed the tables of the money changers. But he wasn't really hating. He was laying the groundwork for his crucifixion. That might be hard to believe. But Jesus knew his time was up and that it was time for him to be crucified so he could be resurrected. He knew that it was time for him to do the final miracle that would lead people to follow him forever. So he knew what he was doing when he was showing anger. Most people, when they show anger, are only creating problems for themselves because anger is shown back and then it sets off this chain reaction. And it sets off a chain reaction that often I cannot affect. The free will of a human will offset any good that I try to do. It can go along with the good that I'm trying to do. But if a human has its mind made up that he's going to use his free will to go against God's commands, in reality, there's very little that I can do to change it. You see, we can suggest, we can give you ideas, we can do many things. But if you truly have your mind made up to do evil, you're going to do it. That is sadly a fact. It's been a fact for the thousands of years as humans have tried to advance and to evolve. Now, God has decided that really it's time for humans to make a decision. So he gave them technologies and he's giving them information. And he's going to see how they're going to use it. This is the time of choice for humans. If you choose to follow his teachings, they're going to do incredible things. They will do things that you cannot imagine. But if they use these things to do evil, then it will be the downfall of human evolution. I've been on other planets that have failed. Other planets just don't learn the lessons, and then they eventually manage to wipe all of the creatures off the earth that were trying so hard to evolve and to be something really good. It can happen on Earth. Do not think it cannot. Do not be naive enough to think that evil cannot overcome good, because it can. If good works at it, if every individual tries to do good, then evil cannot overcome. People of faith, people of love should join together. Together there is strength. Oh, individuals can do many things. Billy Graham, for instance, was an individual. He was sent back by God to do what he did. And he affected millions and millions of people. So an individual can be very effective today. But through cooperation of many is the ultimate strength. Every individual is going to die. Billy Graham passed and returned to the grand welcome in heaven that he deserved. So every individual dies, but groups can live on. A group can be a generational thing. If people join together, the young and the old, then as the young move ahead and learn, humans of age will pass, and leadership passes to the young. That is why it's so important when we tell you that the young must be taught, that the young must know love, that the young must move forward in God's words. Because no matter how much a senior citizen does, how many messages he passes on, there's going to be a time that it will end, and the young must come forth, and the young must Take the words that were spoken, re-speak them, and teach them to their young, so that there is this chain reaction of good. If everyone speaks evil, then the chain reaction of evil will be passed on to the young, and there will be no hope. The only hope is the young. The young must learn the words of God, and the young must learn to pass those words on. I hope that everyone that listened today would take that advice. I know many of you try as hard as you can, and we are so appreciative. But the good must join together and create groups of strength. That was the intent of religions. Sadly, some religions have gone astray. But have faith, have love, speak of God, and all things are possible. So thank you for allowing me to come back and speak again. I always enjoy the opportunity. Not many people know of me. Maybe if I keep speaking louder, more people will follow the advice that I give them. So goodbye, and thank you so much for allowing me to come through. Just think of God's words. That's really all you need to do. Goodbye. Well, thank you, Camael. Good job. She's got a tough job. She's probably got the toughest of the archangels. If an archangel could have drawn the short straw, the one that tries to bring peace to the world has got to have had the shortest. So thank you so much for listening. We'll be back again next Sunday. Please join us Wednesday morning when we bring you the words of Jesus, the words of God himself. They're always unbelievable messages. I'm so blessed to be able to speak the words of all these spirits. So thank you so much. Thank you for all your support. Please share these messages. Please do all you can to bring his words to many people. Goodbye. Thank you so much for listening.